give you this.
And Mike Rutherford, Tony Banks, and Phil Collins are working back in the studio together, and we can expect a Genesis album sometime in spring with them to tour this coming autumn. And right now, a bit of music news. I'm Nina Blackwood. And Marillion will be coming over to tour America in the middle of February, but in the meantime, their new single and video is Lavender. It's the second clip from the Misplaced Childhood album, and vocalist Fish told MTV that the song is about the end of a relationship.
It was a dig at myself and a dig at romantic attitudes. I mean, romance is great, but don't build your whole life on it, you know? And after the split up, I was thinking, you know, like, you know, I'm never going to fall in love again, you know, real stuff. And it's about the guy that walks in the park and that thinks that, you know, he's going to bump into the girl with the ice cream cone or whatever. Oh, yeah, you know, and it's all of a sudden true love. And it's a dreamer.
Bananarama are just 2 songs shy of completing their next album, which is due out early next year. The group have released 1 track from the album, a single titled Do Not Disturb, and have already shot its video with Duran Duran director Simon Milne. Bananarama hope to begin a stateside tour this spring. We have concert dates being sponsored by Campbell's Soup Company. For John Cougar Mellencamp, primarily East Coast dates you're seeing. And actually, the newest music that we've heard from the Cars for about a year and a half or so. Tonight she coming within 15 minutes.
I get up early to greet the sun, leave the doldrums on the shelf. It's a matter of pride and self-respect. I do it for myself. Only got 1 life to live it right. This ain't no pain, no gain. That's why I do it with a smile. I wanna be ready for anything to go that extra mile. Only got 1 life to live it right. Only got 1 chance to live it right. A lot of people in the world that try to lead you astray. You gotta know when to just say no and turn and walk away. Only got 1 life to live it right. Only got 1 chance to live it right. Wow! In life and love, I always try to keep an open mind. Remember what's important and not leave the best behind. Only got 1 life to live it right. I take care of myself and I feel real good just about all the time. Eating right, staying in shape in my body and my mind. Only got 1 life to live. Only got 1 life to live. Only got 1 chance to live. Only got 1 life to live it right.
About what music is, why people do it, why people buy it,
I
why
think that
people
we're exploring new fields.
That's what we're dealing with here is an opinion.
That we must communicate.
I think it always comes from the street.
It's music which comes from the heart, and it's more emotional and less technical.
And let them know that something else exists.
It was designed to be fun.
I've got a chip on my shoulder with your name on it. Knock it off. close, never far, always there when I needed a friend. But it's hard living life on this memory go round, always up, always down, spinning round and round and round. And all this could be such a dream, so it seems I was never much good at goodbye. There once was a time, never far from my mind, on the beach, on the 4th of July. I remember the sand, how you held out your hand, and we touched for what seemed a lifetime. But it's hard leaving all this behind me now, like a school bus so lost, never found until now. And all this could be such a dream, so it seems I was never much good at goodbye. And it's hard living life on this memory go round, always up, always down, spinning round and round and round. And all this could be just a dream, so it seems I was never much good at goodbye. And all this could be such a dream, so it seems I was never much good at goodbye.
The newest video from Night Ranger, and I hope you caught them last night at our Saturday concert. Now, in a period of less than 10 years, John Belushi assembled a list of credits long enough to put him up with the greatest comedians of all time. John Belushi, rock and roll actor, examines the career of this famous funny man with a look at some of his classic performances on Saturday Night Live and his blues brother, Jake. We'll also hear from some of his closest pals, including James Taylor and Bill Murray. We'll show it to you tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Also tonight, we've got an all-new edition of the Basement Tapes for you. Martha Quinn will be joining Frank Zappa in his basement out in Los Angeles, and together they'll show you 6 brand new bands from all across the country. Remember, it's your vote that decides which of the 6 will go on to the finals. Basement Tapes happen tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, sponsored in part by Carefree Sugarless Gum from Nabisco and Tampax Tampons. In Excess, we have a video that was shot in London from them for you within a half an hour.
Sessions presents Cruisin', an amazing 5-record collection featuring 55 hard-driving classics performed by the original artists. Just listen.
Round, round, get around, I get around. All of my love, all of my kissing.
Cruisin'. Cruisin' contains 55 great car radio favorites that are sure to bring back many fond memories. All songs in this giant 5-record set are 100% certified original hits by the original artist.
Born to be wild, American woman. Here she comes down, saying morning, morning, riding along in my automobile. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer.
Test drive Cruisin' today. Your choice of 5 stereo records or 3 8-track or cassette tapes for just $19.95.
You're still the one that made me laugh. Any way you want. Oh, come back someday, girl. When I think about the good love you gave me, I cry like a baby. Change, change, change. Left a good job in the city.
Here's how to get your Cruisin' album now.
COD and credit card customers call toll-free 1-800-228-1688. That's 1-800-228-1688. Or save $3 in COD fees by sending $19.95 for 5 records or 3 tapes, plus $2 for postage and handling to Cruisin'. P.O. Box 5000-M, Chicago, Illinois.
We don't know what the future will bring, but some things never change, like paying taxes. Today, all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and the IRS are helping high school students prepare for their future with Understanding Taxes, a text and film program that explains about taxation. Find out more about it. Call the IRS or your state education office.
Away with more heads.
Glenn still here on the tower with us. Thank you both very, very much. Excellent comments as always. And we're going to go into our closing.
Anybody going to
Penny Classic was produced by Peter Timeout
with 16 seconds remaining in the opening period in Denver. The Broncos have a touchdown lead.
Now, there are solar-powered telephone calls. Why? Well, in many of the world's more remote areas, it's highly impractical, if not impossible, to run telephone lines. And since our solar repeaters, which relay the calls via radio wave, get their power from the sun, no lines are needed.
Gee.
No, GTE.
The ancients called diamonds splinters of stars. The error is understandable. Kings fought for them. Empires fell because of them. Of course, we're above all that. The Greeks believed the fire of a diamond reflected the constant flame of love. As you can see, nothing has changed. Give her a quality diamond of a carat or more. Man's most brilliant tribute to a woman.
In the past, you saw a big Ford 4x4 pickup carry a Chevy pickup up this monster mountain of boulders. But now we're going to top ourselves by carrying a Chevy and towing a Dodge pickup up the same mountain. Because this year, Ford has the most powerful lineup of V8 engines, gas and diesel, of any pickup. And only Ford has independent front suspension for ground-grabbing traction. No wonder they're America's best-selling full-size pickups. The best-built American trucks are built for tough.
Tonight on Alfred Hitchcock, an escaped convict and a sheltered housewife in a bizarre encounter that will challenge your wildest beliefs. Tonight.
Tom Flores, when he heard the bad news that Alzado had torn an Achilles tendon and was out for the year, maybe a career-ending injury, said what we'll miss most is the spirit of the man.
He did have a way of igniting that defense. Loved to talk to the offense, too.
16 seconds left in the quarter. After the 40-yard punt, Elway goes to work. He's going for it all. But Lester Hayes is there for the Raiders with the intercept, and that's as good as a kick. He's down at the 3-yard line. Steve Watson made the tackle, and the Raiders now on the change of possession. The clock stops, 6 seconds left in the quarter. Gives us a chance to run down all the finals for you. Miami beat Green Bay 34-24. The Jets beat Buffalo 27-7.
We'll just look at the end of the play and get back to the scores. You see there that Watson's become a defensive back now. And the ball carrier was Lester Hayes.
Big upset, Cincinnati over Dallas 50-24. St. Louis defeated New Orleans 28-16. Kansas City a winner 38-10 against the Falcons. It was Chicago 17, Indianapolis 10, New England 23, Detroit 6, Washington 17, Philadelphia 12. You're right up to date. Here's 7-0 Denver. The Raiders, with just a handful of seconds left in the first quarter, start from their 3-yard line. And offense that features the NFL's top rusher, Marcus Allen, number 32. He's with Frank Hawkins, lined up in the end zone. Hawkins for about 3. And with it the end of the first quarter here at Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado, where the score, the Broncos 7, the Raiders 0.
This holiday season, share the magic of Andre, America's best-loved champagne.
I'm Howie Long of the Los Angeles Raiders. My wife Diane and I are new parents. This is our new baby Christopher, and we want the best for Christopher and for all children. That's why we're United Way volunteers. We visit the schools, we talk with the children. Hi, kids. Hi. We're here today to talk to you about the Sunrise program. There are 3,300,000 problem drinkers in the age group from 14 to 17.
That's why we're here. These children themselves are evidence that we aren't too early in starting this education to help them make important choices they'll have to face.
If we've gotten even one child not to use alcohol, then we've succeeded. More and more of us in the National Football League are joining in this fight, and it's a fight we can't afford to lose. And when you choose to help, through your support of the United Way, we can all be winners. So these kids will have a better tomorrow.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
Howie Long is the most interesting man. There's the sensitive side and the very physical side. He said, but his real dream is to be a power forward with the Boston Celtics. He would be, the power part would fit.
He certainly has earned the respect of these Denver Broncos. In fact, I was talking to Billy Bryant, the center. He said he thinks he's the finest rusher he's ever faced. He's able to rip with both hands, right and left. And that ambidextrous ability, you can't play him to one side or the other like you would overplay a basketball player.
Collegiate boxing champion, and taught him to use those fists well. 2nd down and 7. The Raiders at their own 6. Opening the second quarter, trailing 7-0. Wilson from his own end zone. Out to Allen, the all-purpose Marcus Allen. And he's at the 14-yard line and a first down. We're going to be tracking Marcus Allen and Carl Mecklenburg.
Well, you saw that play, the little throw to the outside, exactly like a play you saw last year. But watch the end of this play. Again, this is from last year. That's Carl Mecklenburg. Mecklenburg, who's made some big hits already in this game, said he's never hit anyone as hard as that. Marcus Allen got back up and carried the ball on the next play to give you an idea of how tough he is.
He's the man that Dan Reeves said without hesitation, to win the game, we must corral Allen. He'll get some yards. We can't let him have the kind of day he had against us in Los Angeles. Here he comes. Hurdling his way to the 15. A gain of only a yard on first down. Mike Harden, number 31, along with 75, Rulon Jones. On the sidelines for the Los Angeles Raiders with his 5th shoulder operation, Jim Plunkett. And who can count this man out of any season? And I have the itch, Nolan Olson, that this man will be activated if the Raiders get into the playoffs. But he's on the sidelines today as a cheerleader, and we have a timeout in Denver.
Ford presents a new 3-year unlimited mileage powertrain warranty. For 3 years, you can drive your 86 Ford as much as you want and never drive it out of warranty. You can drive it here, there, north to south, east to west. As many miles as you want, and you're still covered. Ford's new 3-year unlimited mileage powertrain warranty. If you love to drive, it's another good reason to drive a Ford. Have you driven the best-built American cars? Have you driven a Ford lately?
Do you know me? I'm one of the best-known cowboys in Texas. But a lot of people don't recognize me in a cowboy hat. So I just carry the American Express card. It can help you out in plenty of tough situations because you never know when you're going to be surrounded by redskins. Howdy.
To apply for the card, look for this display and take one.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Introducing a new, longer-lasting Energizer.
The new Energizer AA battery. It's supercharged.
Now, radios play 14 hours longer than before.
It's supercharged.
No battery in the world outlasts it.
When you've got to go in ice and snow, you're going to go with Prestone.
Driving just 10,000 miles on weak, neglected antifreeze can leave a radiator looking this bad, while the Prestone radiator looks this good.
America goes with Prestone.
Mike Harden played his college ball at University of Michigan, injuring his shoulder in the tackle of Marcus Allen. That is a position where the Broncos are injury thin. Defensive back. Steve Wilson replaces him. 2nd down and 9 for Mark Wilson. The bomb on its way for Dokie Williams. Incomplete. It appeared to hit the helmet of Steve Foley, number 43.
One of the things you will see that is a marked difference between these two quarterbacks. Wilson on the deep passes rainbows the ball, really throws it with a high arc to it. On the other hand, Elway will gun the ball, almost throws it on a line. You'll see Wilson now, he lofts this ball. It hangs for a long time. This ball actually underthrown, but look how high he gets that ball up. Camera couldn't even follow it. You were right about hitting the helmet of Foley. Bounced right off.
3rd and 9, and the Broncos bring in their pass rush specialists, 3 extra men. And it's Marcus Allen. And the flag goes down as Allen is out of bounds at the 24. That would be very close to a 1st down, but we may have an illegal block against the Raiders.
I think it was Jesse Hester who did some holding on that play. But, Dick, they were able to get Carl Mecklenburg inside. He's rushing from an outside position on the left-hand side of your screen. Now watch him. He'll go inside of Bruce Davis, and Bruce, number 79, just pinned him inside. Number 8, Jones coming from the outside. They were able to, Marcus just slipped inside of the 2 of them, and there was the hold. You saw the flag coming right there. Number 45, Wilson, being held by Jesse Hester, number 84.
That may have cost a 1st down for the Raiders because Allen appeared to have the 24-yard line. That would have been good enough. Instead, it'll be 3rd down and 13. Wow,
a good athlete, and he's not afraid to run the football. He, at times, is not as aware in that pocket as you like a quarterback to be, but he has run for a 4-yard average on the year and made well over that. Almost a 1st down, but couldn't quite pick it up.
Ray Guy comes in to punt for the Raiders, who have been very tough in allowing yardage on punt returns. Much of that due to coverage, but mostly the strong leg of Guy who roots it so high. This one's a little short. Vance Johnson at the 38 with a fair catch, and the Broncos with a lead have the ball again in good field position. We played just over a minute of the 2nd quarter, a 40-yard punt.
They're coming, and they're tough to beat. The 86 Ford Rangers. Even tougher to beat this year. Its V6 engine is the most powerful of any small pickup. And there's Ranger's new Super Cab that carries up to 5 people or extra cargo. Also new this year is Ranger's new electric touch drive that lets you shift from 2-wheel to 4-wheel drive on the fly. See the tough-to-beat 86 Ford Rangers now. The best-built American trucks are built Ford tough.
Most people know you can only buy a Curtis Mathis at a Curtis Mathis Home Entertainment Center. They know delivery and installation are included, and there's a 4-year limited warranty on every product. But what people don't know is just how long a Curtis Mathis really lasts.
Time to get another Curtis Mathis. Yep.
For products that last year after year after year, this year, make it a Curtis Mathis Christmas.
Patience. That's what struck me the most learning about Coors beer. From the malting to the brewing, aging, the whole process. They never hurry. It takes about twice as long to make Coors as it does any other major beer. Yeah, they do take their time. But you can taste the difference right here. A beer that's a little less heavy, never bitter, but with all the spirit and patience of a great beer. Coors is the one.
Today's game is brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. To arrange a thorough test drive, phone your nearest BMW dealer. By Coors and Coors Light, beers with a difference worth tasting. And by Curtis Mathis, a little more expensive but worth it.
Well, that's what Steve Sewell could say. A little more expensive but worth it to be in there for the Broncos. And he was unable to dent that Raider defense for much other than a couple of yards. Let's check on some other action in the NFL. Late games, Cleveland and Seattle, both teams with hopes for the playoffs, tied at 3 in the second. The Giants jump out to a 2-touchdown lead at the Astrodome. They had to be buoyed by that Dallas score. And it's Minnesota leading Tampa Bay 6-0. Second and 8. Denver leads here 7-0 early second quarter. Draw play to Sewell. Got the speed to get outside, and that excites Denver fans. He picks up about 6 on that carry before Jeff Barnes can make the hit.
His teammates have been calling him Smiley, a rookie who is really starting to have an impact on this Denver offense. And you see the burst of speed right there as he gets out of sight of Greg Townsend, number 93. Finally pulled down by Barnes, number 56. It'll be third and just a little over a yard here for Elway and the Bronco offense.
This is where Elway has been perfect in the game, 5 for 5. Doesn't run it. And it's intercepted by the Raiders. Mike Haynes at the 50-yard line under pressure. Elway threw it away, but right into the arms of the veteran Haynes as we have some push and shove. And that was only a matter of time. The fuse has been lit since the Raiders came to town.
You're going to have helmets locked to helmets today, and that's Rod Martin, number 53. He's been one of the verbal Raiders, and there were some words passed between he and Clarence Kay via the press this week about what they were planning on doing in this game. Martin, of course, known for his big plays, and Tom Flores wanted to keep his team from getting too high emotionally. He said, you got to play this kind of game like a shark. No emotion, just get the job done. And I think his concern early in the week was keeping his players ready for the game itself, not letting them burn themselves out.
You're saying they were ready this morning. We'll get that story right after this play. Raiders' best field position of the game on Haynes' second pass interception of the season. Typical of the Raiders, they come right out looking for something big after the turnover. We're left here on Hester. Steve Wilson. And a flag is down, and we may have roughing the passer. Yes. Rulon Jones hit Wilson late. That hit by Steve Wilson was clean and not a penalty, but at the other end, Wilson was hit after he threw the ball by Rulon Jones.
Costly mistake by Rulon.
Roughing the passer, number 75, touchdown.
Boy, I'd hate to be a wide receiver out there hanging up with my feet that far off the ground and knowing that I was going to do a spiral before I came to the ground.
It's great training to become a professional wrestler, those body slams they take.
Boy, I'll tell you. And that's this good field position for the first time today. The Broncos are down inside of Denver territory.
The Raiders indeed with a first down just inside the Denver 35. Marcus. He's a marked man, but look at the way he peels back, and he has blockers. 35, 30, and he dives to the 25. That's exactly what the Broncos feared most, that they would converge on Allen with 11 men, and suddenly there'd be no one on the backside.
The same kind of play that Allen broke for 61 yards and a touchdown in the earlier game between these two teams. They've got him. He's dead to rights. But the great backs turn that kind of play into a big play, a nothing play into a big play. You've got to have great speed to be able to make that play, and Marcus Allen can do it.
42% of the offense, the leading rusher in the NFL. The Raiders have never had a rushing champion in their years in Oakland and Los Angeles. Allen, with 3 games to go, has a good shot at it. Fighting Riggs and Payton for the honor. Frank Hawkins picks up the first down on 2nd and a yard. And the Raiders drive now close to that 20-yard line with 11 minutes, 15 seconds left in the half.
When the Raiders' running game is working, they force Denver to play a different style of defense. The Denver defensive backs and linebackers must be much more conscious of that run and therefore are more vulnerable to the pass. They would love to be able to shut down the run and then just play the passing game.
Allen corralled after a gain of about 3. Mecklenburg 77 there first.
Carl Mecklenburg, and we mentioned he is all over the field. In this particular play, he is at the left linebacker position. Christensen right there along with Mickey Marvin, number 65, trying to block on him, but he just escaped on that play.
2 of the big defensive men, big playmen. Rod Martin of the Raiders has 6 sacks on the year. Mecklenburg with 12, one of the NFL leaders. A lot of that due in part their success to 2 other men we'll be talking about. Teammates who set up their plays. Play action. Christensen, first down at the 11-yard line. And the Raiders drive deeper toward that Bronco goal.
You saw Todd Christensen drop a pass earlier that was in his hands. He does not drop many, believe me. On this occasion, one of the things that makes him so tough, he will never quit on a pattern. When Wilson gets in trouble, he'll go to Todd Christensen very often.
That's his 70th of the season. Had a big game against the Falcons. Boy, has he been tough in the last 45 games as a Raider. He's caught 242 balls. I mean, he's always there. Allen into the teeth of the defense for about 3. Steve Wilson made the tackle, a son of T.D. Tommy Wilson, a Los Angeles Ram of a couple of decades ago, and he says, my dad watches my every game. He says, you know, he can coach every position. I said, he can coach every position? He said, yeah, he's my dad. That explains it all.
Dad was quite a football player, too.
Wilson in there for the injured Mike Harden, who has a pinched nerve in that shoulder. The Denver brain trust. And Wilson calls time. He either was running out of time or didn't like the play called for the defensive set. So with 8:41 left, it's still Denver by 7.
The BMW 5 Series. 3 luxury sedans that transform information into exhilaration. Fuel into adrenaline. And other sports sedans into idle pretenders. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. For a test drive, contact your authorized BMW dealer.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
When the little ones discover Petable Portables at Radio Shack, you're in for a delightful dilemma.
Look, Grandma, Teddy's got a radio inside. But so does Snoopy, and I love him best. Well, maybe I love Teddy best. Thanks for the Snoopy, Grandma.
Of course, there is a solution, if you can hold out till a birthday.
Petable Portables from $11.95 to $21.95, only at Radio Shack.
I'm Dan Marino, and at Christmas time, I take care of the hands that take care of me. I pass isotoner gloves to the hands that catch my passes, and I hand off these custom-fit isotoners to the hands that carry the ball. And of course, I never forget to take care of my blockers, because how can I throw a pass when I'm laying on my back? This Christmas, give isotoner gloves by Aris, and take care of the hands that take care of you.
Dick, our producer Larry Cirillo, was worried that we'd need a bigger booth today because you went skiing for the first time last weekend, and we were afraid we might have a cast on one of these lakes. You came here to Colorado. Was it fun?
Hey, when I came back to Vail, and the first time they put up on, I thought I was #1. They said you're in one piece. The betting was against that.
America
I'm converted. I'm converted.
Well, great. Feels cold enough to ski today, believe me, and I think somewhere they're doing a lot of it here in Colorado today.
Well, the Raiders trying to ski or skate into the end zone. You see, they've already spent 2 of their first half timeouts. Ball's inside the 9-yard line.
Both timeouts because of Wilson's problems of getting the ball off on time.
He's at the noisy end, the closed end of the stadium. That one's going to be out of play. Well covered was Marcus Allen. You might even say that Wilson and the Raiders are at the snowball end of Mile High Stadium. What's that on his wrist?
That's a list of plays. Now, the system that the Raiders use to get their plays onto the field is a signaling system that is keyed to plays that are listed on that wristband. You see him glancing right there at the wristband, and they'll signal a number out to him. He is responsible then for calling formation and play. There's a close-up of that wristband. You can see there's quite a list of plays on there, so they key them by series and tell him what they want him to call.
So those are numbered 1 through, say, 40, and they'll say, okay, play 33, and it's written right there on that band. On 3rd and 7, intercepted by Dennis Smith. He's going to run it out. Smith has great speed. He's all the way to the 40-yard line, out of bounds at the 38, and what a turnover for Denver.
Wilson throwing into a tough Denver defense, just gets that ball over the top of Marcus Allen's head, and a great job of flagging that ball down. Good ball reaction by Wilson.
Dennis Smith with his first interception of the season. This is Steve Sewell to the 42. It was a 40-yard return by Smith. At first I thought he was making a mistake just not taking the touchback, but Smith wanted something bigger and indeed got twice as much yardage.
Turnover is such a big part of any game, and in particular these Bronco games. You see right there they have the lead 2-1 so far in this game.
Well, that's about how they lead on the season. Denver's a +8 in the turnovers. Raiders are a -8. Sewell on 2nd and 6. Ooh, hit hard at the 44-yard line. Some of the Broncos thought that last hit was a little late. They liked Sewell when they drafted him out of Oklahoma because he reminded the Bronco scouts of Marcus Allen. His size, his speed, his ability to catch the ball. Didn't have the same kind of credentials as Marcus, a Heisman winner.
Well, I can imagine that there are about 28 teams in the NFL who would like a Marcus Allen, including the Raiders. They'd like another one to go with the one they've got.
3rd and 3. Incomplete. Watson well covered by the sticky Lester Hayes. 7-0 Denver here in the Mile High City. Let's go to NFL 85.
All right, down in Seattle, the Seahawks need a win to stay alive in the playoffs, and here David Craig goes 4 yards to Dan Ross in the corner of the end zone. The Seahawks lead at 10-3 there in the 2nd quarter.
And here in Denver, 7 minutes remain in the first half. The Broncos will have to punt for the first time. Chris Norman kicking to Fulton Walker.
Norman has had his problems kicking the football.
Last 2 weeks he's been under 40 yards in both games. This one could be a good one for Denver. Well, he goes into the end zone. Darren Como, that's a very tough spot for him. He almost had to run, stop, and just use his hand to down the ball. Once he fell on it and skidded into the end zone, it was the touchback.
If he could have knocked that ball backwards instead of carrying it with him, the ball would have been there, and it would have been great.
Now, for the power computer user who demands performance, Radio Shack introduces the Tandy 3000, the more powerful and more affordable IBM PC AT compatible. Here's the power to manage your business, utilize computer networking, or create a multi-user system. The Tandy 3000, the power to put you in command. Tandy, clearly superior, in business for business. Only at Radio Shack Computer Centers.
This bug's for all that you do. You keep America going. You keep the juices flowing. You are the muscle, the hope and the hustle. You keep the country growing, and you make America work. And this bug's for you.
Here's to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This bug's for you.
No matter how hard you work, Right Guard can help keep you smelling good for up to 24 hours.
You work hard, you need Right Guard.
This is Brush Plus from Gillette. A shaving concentrate and brush in one. A brush to lift whiskers, a concentrate to soften them. A shave that is superior. Give him Brush Plus for a superior shave from Gillette.
The NFL plays here when the Chiefs battle the Broncos.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL 85.
Elway watches Mark Wilson go to work. Wilson intercepted on his last throw. Elway's been intercepted twice. Dumps it off to Allen. And Mecklenburg greets him at the 25. The gain of 5 for Allen, who has not broken anything longer than 10 yards as a receiver or runner yet in this first half.
Over on the right side of that Raider offensive line, Mickey Marvin, 65, and Henry Lawrence, both hurt last week and questionable for today. Lawrence with a knee injury. Marvin pulled his plantaris muscle. It actually exploded on him. And yet the two of them back in there and doing a good job of protection. There's Marcus Allen. That's like a long handoff. He's dangerous anytime he touches the ball.
2nd and 5. Allen again, ad-libbing to a first down at the 31. The quick instincts and reactions. There was nothing inside. Boom, outside he goes for the first down.
Steve Foley said something very interesting about Marcus Allen. He said when you watch this man run in the films, you notice that he is very seldom out of control. Always has his body under control, and that's one of the reasons that he can make that quick movement to the outside.
He's been a star all of his football life, going back to his days in high school at Lincoln High School in San Diego, where he not only was the leading quarterback and rusher, he intercepted more passes than anyone else, 4 for touchdowns on defense. Wilson with an isolate. Hester is behind Wilson and can't come up with the ball. And it appeared he took a bump or two in the process. No flag.
I don't think there's any question about the fact that he was bumped. It looked like Steve Wilson using his elbow on Hester on that play. The official, for whatever reason, deciding to ignore it. Wilson gets that high, lofted pass again. Seems to be up there forever. And right at the end, and I think we really missed the bumping that we were talking about. But Wilson did a great job of stripping the arms down, and that's what a good defensive back will do. Jerk those arms down so that the receiver cannot control the football.
From Howard University in the nation's capital, a long shot, a free agent spotted by Dallas, and now making his home comfortably in that Denver secondary. 2nd and 10. Again going long. Louis Wright intercepts for Denver. And Williams thought he was fouled.
We've had 2 great over-the-shoulder interceptions. One earlier by Lester Hayes for the Raiders, and this one, of course, by Louis Wright. Man-for-man coverage on Dookie Williams. Again, Wright using more than the 5-yard area, but watch him as he becomes the receiver and Dookie Williams becomes the defensive back.
Burger King now begins a nationwide search for Herb, the one man who's never tasted a Burger King burger.
Herb was never what you'd call
normal. Herb has never learned to love flame broiling instead of frying.
Herb was unusual. Herb was different.
Herb has never enjoyed this sizzling Whopper.
Pull yourself together.
Herb, wherever you are, start asking yourself, aren't you hungry for Burger King, Herb?
In my travels around the world, I found no two countries alike, no two governments alike. There's a lot for governments to disagree on. But 31 governments have found at least one thing they can agree on: the power of Sperry computer systems to make government manageable. Now, if 31 countries can agree on that, who knows what else?
You're reaching deep inside you, so things you've never known. It's been tough, rough going, but you haven't gone alone.
We do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day.
Hey, First Sergeant. Good morning.
Find your future in the Army.
Now, coaches talk about it all the time. Don't leave the ball on the ground. The turnover, how important it is. The Raiders, despite the -8, is there any other team that can come back from that minus column and be such a solid winning club as the Raiders? Doesn't seem to bother them. The Broncos are a +8. And it stays that way because there have been 4 interceptions today, 2 on each side. From his 29. And action before the snap was Sean Jones drawn offside. Dave Studdard, the tackle for Denver.
Talking about that turnover number, we'll let the official.
Number 70, first down.
That -8 that you showed us there rings a bell, because I think several years ago, when the Raiders won the Super Bowl, they went into the playoffs with a -8 in the turnover column. And as you said, there are very few teams able to overcome that kind of negative numbers. The Raiders very little concerned about statistics and averages. And I guess Al Davis said it best. He said, just win, baby. Just win.
That's right. That's the only number that really counts. We haven't had a sack yet, interestingly, on either side in this first half. 1st and 15. Drill to Watson at the 39. That's going to be close to a first down as veteran Steve Watson, nearly 15 yards on the play.
Watson took a real shot on that play. The reason that this play is successful, the way that John Elway can power the football. Look how fast that ball just zipped into your screen. Lester Hayes had good coverage on Watson. The ball thrown so quickly, he had no chance to cover the ground and close that cushion that they talk about between the defensive back and the receiver.
Gain of 14 on the play, 2nd and 1. Winder. But enough for the first down at the 40-yard line. Sean Jones from Northeastern of Boston made the tackle. Clock running, 4:22 left in the first half.
You feel the energy kind of oozing out of this crowd. They love their Broncos here, and they're an enthusiastic crowd. The only thing I think that keeps this from being the noisiest stadium in all of football is the fact that it's outdoors, and there's a place for the noise to go.
You get down that closed end, it's tough, but it's open down to the right as you view it from our vantage point. First down, Denver leading 7-0, less than 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Away from Howie long, and then the throw to the wide open Butch Johnson, and a flag down against whom in the secondary.
Lester Hayes saying it's offensive interference on Butch Johnson. He was on the ground.
Johnson, who has not played much in the last month, Hance Johnson, the rookie, has taken his spot.
And it is called. It is called on Butch Johnson. You'll see it at the end of the play. Now he drives Lester off, and right here he'll use his shoulder on him and just push him away. You see the arm and the shoulder right there. And of course, the defender is entitled to the room he has as well.
Lester Hayes, John Goose Gooden, using a couple of baseball names. Elway's slider comes in at about 105 miles an hour. Well, that was a good read on that last throw to Watson. Remember, he drilled a Goose Gooden goodie, and Hayes just not, although within a step of Watson, couldn't get there to close in and knock the pass away. That offensive penalty makes it 1st and 20. Little reverse to Sewell. Van McElroy and James Davis with a tackle at around the 36. Clock running at 3:30 left in this first half. You get the feeling that Denver's had the better of things in this first half, Merlin. The field position, the touchdown, but lead only 7-0. And the Raiders 7-0 at the half. That won't make them feel too badly.
Traditionally, they play the first half tough, stay close in the ball game, and they like to close it out big in the fourth quarter.
And the Broncos haven't scored in the third quarter in something like 2 months. Sampson. Oh, what a move by Sampson. He wasn't down. Yes, he was, they say. At the 46. And oh, the fans don't like that. They feel that Sampson got up before contact was made.
The rule is that once the contact has initiated the body movement for that running back or a receiver in this case, if the knee or any other part of the body except the hand touches the ground, they're going to blow it dead.
Well, you be the officials at home. Dan Reeves, of course, has a bias. Sampson not touched there. Haynes is on him. He's down, but not from Haynes' contact. He's already up before Haynes makes contact. Reeves has a good argument.
That is not a good call by the official.
So it'll be 3rd down, 13. Elway, good protection. Drills to Watson. First down. From Temple University, Steve Watson. What a receiver he's been.
They're trying to create confusion, 2 receivers together. But again, the secret of this pass is the arm strength of Elway.
And it comes at the 2-minute warning. Denver with another first down.
What you say?
In Germany, people love high-performance driving. And when they want the most fun for their money, they hit the road in a Volkswagen GTI.
What you say?
GTI. It's not a car, it's a Volkswagen.
This bus for all that you do. Somehow you always come through. You keep it going. Your pride's really showing. Nobody shines like you. Yeah, you make America work. And this bus for you.
Here's to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
Listen to the sound of a closer, smoother shave. Williams Electric Shave sets up my beard, so my shaver shaves closer, and I get a smoother shave. Listen to Williams Electric Shave. The sound of a closer, smoother shave.
Huh, you're wearing this because of your new secretary.
Me? New improved Ice Blue Aqua Velva cools better, makes my face feel great.
But that scent, it's sinful.
Lasts longer, too.
There's something about an Ice Blue Aqua Velva, man.
The best and brightest of the bowls are on NBC. Robbie Bosco leads the 9th-ranked Cougars of BYU as they battle Ohio State and the Buckeye sensational running back Keith Byers. The Florida Citrus Bowl, December 28th. College football's best and brightest are on NBC Sports.
Capacity is 75,000 and 100, and they boo the no-shows here, and it's usually only a couple, just a family that can't make it, and they're packed in for this Raider-Bronco clash, first place at stake in the West.
You don't mind having somebody sitting close today. It helps you to stay warm.
That's right. Temperatures down at the freezing mark. Denver leading 7-0, 2 minutes left in the half. First down after that 15-yard throw from Elway to Watson. Sewell on a quick hitter, short yardage, a gain of maybe 1.
John Jones, number 99, knifing in from the outside. They had a little stunt called in the defensive line, and Jones just exploded inside to stop that draw. Sometimes you make a good call defensively. Well, here you see him just moving inside.
Being chased by Townsend. Now the throw. And the flag is thrown. It was intended for Sewell. It appeared to be James Davis, 45, who ran into him. McElroy, whose father is a minister, verbally trying to offer some assistance.
Pass interference, number 45, touchdown.
But Davis is simmed.
I think James Davis just lost the football, didn't know where it was, and in his eagerness to cover his receiver, bumped him while that ball was hanging in the air. Here's the play right at the end, and of course, Davis driving right over the top of the receiver. The officials, two of them on the scene, both threw the yellow flags.
That's a case where just looking back at the quarterback wasn't good enough. A big play for the Broncos with 1:35 remaining in the first half. Watson in motion. You see Haynes chasing him across defensively. Complete to Vance Johnson to the 1-yard line. Speed of this young man, the rookie from Arizona, has really built that offense for Denver.
Watch from the right side of your screen. You'll see Watson coming into this position and Mike Haynes coming here. They're both going to work all the way across the field together. The defensive back will track with the receiver all the way across the field, working his way through traffic. Now you'll see Elway going back. They get the receiver all the way across, and you see the pattern underneath, and that's just pure speed right there.
First and goal at the 1 as the Broncos try to go up 14-0 at the half. Sewell loses a yard. Good defensive play by Stacy Turan, a Notre Dame star playing in Mike Davis's strong safety spot.
Turan, a heads-up play as he knifed in from behind the play. Excellent speed.
Time called by Denver with 33 seconds left before the intermission.
This is how many parents all across America find out about the Apple IIc. Parents buy their kids an Apple IIc because Apples are the leading computers used in schools. Then they discover how easy it is to set up and use, how it can help them with things like business and home finance, and how that can help them spend more time with their kids.
Hi, Dad.
Half a minute remaining. Denver knocking on the door just outside the Raider 1-yard line. 7-0. The Broncos lead, scoring on their very first drive of the game. A 10-minute drive consuming 16 plays, 77 yards. Elway, the tight end James Wright. Wright's only touchdown of this entire year. That's the scoring summary for this first half.
Almost the toughest possible situation for a defense with a first down just inside the 2-yard line. The Raiders have managed to stop the Broncos on the first down. They made nothing on that play. Now it's 2nd and goal. You see Flores, he's concerned. 7 points did not concern him as much as 14 would going in at the half. Used big number 87, James Wright, to come in and trap on that play, and we'll have some replays for you after Rich Carlos gets a chance for the extra point.
Denver's barefooted specialist. Bad snap, but a good recovery by Kubiak, the backup quarterback, and it's 14-0. It all started with Louis Wright's interception back at the Denver 29.
Chance to look close up on this play, and you'll see number 87, Louis Wright, coming in right there from the outside of your screen as a trap blocker. And he was able to make a little bit of room in there, Sammy Winder diving inside. Inside, they're having trouble controlling on the line. Howie is driving inside 75. Howie Long got a hand on him. Sean Jones, 99 from the other side. But inside, they were able to find enough room for Sammy Winder.
Former star at Southern Mississippi. Hardly Southern here in the Rocky Mountain High at Denver. And a good inside look at the pile of bodies as Winder found a crack as they ran to what used to be Lyle Alzado's side. And a 14-0 lead, and the Raiders now, there's Alzado out for the year and hopefully not for the rest of a career. He's in the twilight anyway, past 35, but he's still trying to inspire his teammates along that Raider sideline.
Rich Carlos is teeing up the ball. I was in the locker room the other day. He has a sign in his locker. On one side it said GOAT, on the other side Hero. The GOAT side was out this week. Well, so far today the Hero side can be out.
He's kicked off very well. This one skids low, but by Derek Jensen, bobbled by Fulton Walker, and he stopped at the 15-yard line. So Carlos's 3 kickoffs have been outstanding. 2 through the end zone and 1 to the 15. Daniel Hunter covered Fulton Walker. Well, with only 2 weeks left after this Sunday, so much has happened today that has impact on the whole playoff picture, and Messrs. Costed, Rashad, and Axhelm are standing by to bring you up to date on the meanings of the scores that we already have had today. There'll be some disappointed fans and some with their hopes very much alive. 26 seconds left in the half. Fumble, and the Broncos have recovered.
That's twice today that Mark Wilson has come out from underneath Don Mospar as center without the football. They were able to recover the first one themselves.
Broncos now a chance to really blow this first half wide open with a 14-0 lead. 22 seconds left. Elway toward the end zone. Knocked away, but a flag is down. Both Kay and Steve Watson in the end zone, and Stacy Turan applauding as if it might be a Bronco penalty. It is.
Second offensive interference penalty of the day, and that's very unusual to see that many. Look right into the eyes of John Elway, and I think if that ball had been allowed to go through by Clarence Kay, that it might have been caught by Watson, although Lester Hayes was all over Steve Watson.
The penalty was on Kay, the man in the shorter position, but he was pushing on Lester Hayes was the call.
A lot of teams now designing plays that, if they're not out-and-out picks, look like picks. You can't go through and knock those defenders off with receivers coming the other direction.
Ball at the 23, first down and 20. The clock important, 18 seconds left. Raiders may have been offside. Flags are down. Elway on the scramble. Long in pursuit. Intercepted by 57.
Jerry Robinson,
the former Eagle. But it may not count. The clock is down to 3 seconds, but it appeared that the Raiders were offside.
Not a good play by Elway. He has thrown the ball several times today, and you're right, Dick, they're going to wave it back. They'll go back to the line of scrimmage, but Elway has tried to beat the sack today by throwing the ball away. He's been intercepted twice earlier in the game that way, and was intercepted there and saved by the offside penalty.
Third, number 71, first down.
Bill Pickel, but there were a couple of Raiders that lurched offside. And with 3 seconds left, it would appear that the Broncos will go for the field goal. Carlos is in with a 5-yard penalty. The ball marked at the 18, which will make this about a 37-yard attempt.
I mentioned the hero and GOAT side of Rich Carlos. One of these fans a little upset with his kicking over the past few weeks, sent him an artificial leg, which he had in his locker. Well, I'm sure with the cold today, that foot is numb enough as it is.
It's a 35-yard attempt. The fumble is worth nothing as he's wide to the left. And with it, the end of the first half, a little more debate on the line of scrimmage, but they'll untangle and head to their respective locker rooms.
With the Los Angeles Raider defense, a tremendous play here and a tremendous series for them as they were able to deny the Broncos the touchdown or even the field goal. A little hugging going on. Well, that's Greg Townsend coming in. He didn't want to be called for the penalty. Not a good snap. We've seen 2 bad snaps by Keith Bishop so far today, and I think that made it difficult for Carlos to get the timing right.
Carlos hooking to the left, and so the end of the first 30 minutes in the battle for first in the West. The Broncos lead 14-0.
Tonight, a world movie premiere. A dream trip to the city turns into a nightmare. And if they want to get home tomorrow, they'll have to live through tonight.
Please! What's the matter with you? Can't you see we need help?
In a city where the people won't help and the police don't care, every shadow is your enemy. Richard Thomas, Mary Crosby, Final Jeopardy tonight.
The best deals this Christmas are going on right here in the old Liberty House building during Valley Sports Sale of the Century. Let me give you some examples. Nike nylon jackets, regular $45, now just $14.99. Men's and women's warm-ups, regular $50, just $19.99. Boyd soccer balls, regular $24.95, just $9.99. Plus stadium seats for just $9.99. Christmas deals on sporting goods and ski equipment are being made right here at the old Liberty House building at Manchester Center during Valley Sports Sale of the Century.
Listen, yeah, Doc, I think she's ready.
Okay, I'll be right over. In Markesan, Wisconsin, when a patient can't get to Dr. Lippert's office, Dr. Lippert brings his office to his patients.
Daddy, where is he?
And the office he relies on, a Subaru wagon. So happily on this night, Dr. Lippert delivered a healthy 72-pound cat.
See your Merced, Fresno, Visalia, or Porterville Subaru dealer today.
TV 24, KSEE, Fresno.
Bob Costas back along with Ahmad Rashad at our NFL 85 studios in New York. Right now, we'll run through all the finals from earlier in the day for you, and a bit later on, we'll update the games in progress. At Soldier Field, the Bears came in as an 18-point favorite against the Colts, yet this game was tied at 3 apiece at halftime, and the Bears had to struggle to win 17-10. At the half, Walter Payton had just 15 yards rushing as he tried to go over 100 for the 9th consecutive week, extending his own record. Well, they were monsters in the midway by the second half, but in the first half, as I said, the Colts gave them all they could handle. Payton got things going in the second half, including this 16-yard touchdown run. He had 96 yards after intermission, wound up with 111, so his own record is extended to 9 consecutive weeks over 100 yards. The Bears are 13-1. The Colts, winless on the road this year, 3-11 overall after the 17-10 defeat. The Patriots beat the Lions today 23-6 with Steve Grogan out for the year. Tony Eason is in control for the Pats. He had a big day, including this 16-yard run for their first touchdown. So the Patriots take their record to 10-4, and the Lions just obviously are not the same team on the road as they are at home. They are unbeaten at the Silverdome, have only 1 win away from Pontiac this season. The Redskins beat the Eagles 17-12. At one time, they trailed 12-3, came back with touchdowns in the 3rd and 4th quarters to win it. George Rogers had this 28-yard scoring run in the 3rd. It brought them to within 12-10, and then Jay Schrader was able to hit with a 5-yard scoring pass to Gary Clark in the 4th quarter. That proved to be the margin of victory. 17-12, the Redskins at 8-6 and keeping their playoff hopes alive with the victory at Philadelphia. The Dolphins beat Green Bay today 34-24. Dan Marino threw 5 touchdown passes. It gives him a total of 27 on the year, and this was the game winner. After leading 20-3 at the half, they were trailing by a score of 24-20 with just over 3 minutes to play in the 4th quarter, and then a 2-yard scoring pass from Marino to Joe Rose. This gave them the lead at 27-24. Then, after an interception, Miami came back with Marino's 5th touchdown pass. It covered 61 yards to Dan Johnson, and that put the icing on the cake, 34-24 at Green Bay. The Jets beat Buffalo today, 27-7 in Buffalo. Ken O'Brien threw for 3 touchdowns. One of them was the longest touchdown pass in Jet history in the 2nd quarter. This 96-yarder to Wesley Walker, the previous Jet record, a 91-yard connection from Joe Namath to Richard Castor back in 1975. So the Jets, with this victory, take their record to 10-4. It's a 3-way tie atop the AFC East. the Dolphins, the Patriots, and the Jets, all at 10-4, and the Patriots and Dolphins play a week from tomorrow night at the Orange Bowl in Miami, where, as everybody knows, the Dolphins are close to unbeatable. Check this score because it is correct. Cincinnati wallops Dallas today 50-24. The Bengals scored the first 3 times they had the ball, and as a matter of fact, they scored the first time the Cowboys had the ball. James Brooks is right, yeah. The Bengals were #1 today. This is how the scoring began. It was 2-0 Bengals after Ross Browner sacked Danny White in the end zone. And then they scored touchdowns the next 3 times they had the ball on offense. Good day for Boomer Esiason. Esiason threw 3 touchdown passes. This one goes to Eddie Brown, the scintillating rookie from Miami, covers 45 yards, part of their 22-point first-quarter explosion, the most points ever allowed in a first quarter by the Dallas Cowboys. It's only the 3rd time in history the Cowboys have yielded as many as 50 points. They're walloped 50-24, and prior to today, the Cowboys' record in games immediately following Thanksgiving was 16-1. They always play on Thanksgiving. They get the long rest. They were coming off the victory against the Cardinals at home on Thanksgiving Day, but they just never got out of the blocks today, losing 50-24. So Dallas's record goes to 9-5, and Cincinnati evens their mark at 7-7. St. Louis beat New Orleans today, 28-16. It was a big day for Stump Mitchell. He rushed for 159 yards. He scored 3 touchdowns for St. Louis. Kansas City beat Atlanta. The final at Arrowhead was 38-10. Todd Blackledge threw for 3 touchdowns for Kansas City, 2 of them to Stephon Page. 1 was good for 70 yards. It was a big day for Gerald Riggs in defeat for Atlanta. It seems that no matter how terribly his team does, Riggs goes out and distinguishes himself every week. He rushed 26 times today for the Falcons for 197 yards and scored their only touchdown. Ahmad Rashad, some thoughts on the Colts-Bears game earlier today at Soldier Field?
I tell you, Bobby, you know, with the Colts going to 3-11, it's no question where they're going to be during Christmas. So for some of you people out there that are maybe thinking of some gifts that you might want to get these guys for Christmas, think about maybe a health club membership or maybe a pound of Epsom salt, because regardless of the score, I guarantee you they're going to need both of those.
They went out and did very, very well. They didn't roll over, 18-point underdogs, 3-3 at the half, and really had they scored on that first drive, there's no telling what might have happened. They took the ball down to the 1. McMillan was stopped for a loss by Fensick, and then they missed the field goal.
Well, the key to the entire thing was Chicago made the half-to-half adjustment that they had to make, and that's what championship teams do.
And we'll be back after these messages.
Here in Denver's Mile High Stadium, the temperature dropping. It appears the forecast for snow later today might become a reality. It was a chilling first half for the Raiders as they were shut out 14-0 by the Denver Broncos, who scored on a long drive the first time they had the ball. James Wright, seldom used, and number 87, a pass from Elway, his first touchdown of the season, 7-0 Denver.
The second Bronco touchdown later at the opposite end of the field on a run by Sammy Winder, who dives in through the middle of the line behind James Wright as a blocker.
In the battle for first place, Denver leads by 2 touchdowns. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Tomorrow night's TV bloopers are the wildest ever, with a tall practical joke on Joan Van Ark and pro basketball bloopers that'll knock your socks off.
Then, she must choose between fulfilling her dreams or caring for her deaf parents.
You can't protect them forever.
Love is never silent. Tomorrow.
Come to the Superstore, buy any special Christmas sale item, and this 10-speed touring bike is included. Purchase this Mitsubishi stereo for $168, and the bike is yours. Buy Dad this $399 Mitsubishi video recorder, and the bike is yours. Or buy the family this beautiful Mitsubishi Giant Screen, and this Precision 10-speed bike is yours at the Superstore on Blackstone, just south of Shaw.
TV 24, KSEE, Fresno.
The first half statistics, they're official now, Merlin Olsen, and the Broncos basically 2-1 in those numbers and leading 14-0 on the scoreboard.
Bronco defensive coordinator Joe Collier has always been a master at coming back against a team that did well against them early, and the Raiders were able to dominate that earlier game, in particular in rushing yardage. They have not done well rushing the ball or passing the ball here today. Those turnovers, all pass interceptions except for the one fumble by Mark Wilson.
And the turnover's 3-2, but one of the Bronco interceptions was down at the 3-yard line of the Raiders, so that was as good as a punt. It really could be 3-1 in that column. We're getting ready for the second half, but let's first check on all the other scores in NFL 85.
All right, Bob Costas back with another run through the scores. Some of you have heard these early scores before. For others, it's the first time through. In any case, we'll zip through them for you. Games in progress. Denver leading at Mile High Stadium in the battle for first place in the AFC West by a score of 14-0 over the Raiders. Elway to James Wright, Elway's 20th touchdown pass of the year in the first quarter. Sammy Winder, a scoring run in the second. Seattle playing at home and leading Cleveland 17-3. Cleveland almost got closer just before the end of the half, but Bernie Kosar fumbled deep in Seattle territory. David Craig has thrown a couple of touchdown passes in this one for Seattle. The Giants and Houston, and the Giants now lead late in the second quarter at the Astrodome 28-14. Joe Morris has scored 3 touchdowns in this game for the Giants. Phil Simms, a 10-yard touchdown pass to Mark Bavaro for the other score. Morris now has 17 touchdowns on the year. That's the tops in the NFL. He's scored 6 touchdowns the past 2 weeks, and he has 97 yards rushing in the first half alone today, taking him over 1,000 for the year. But as Ahmad Rashad noted last week, he's just too small. 28-14 Giants late in the first half. The Vikings playing at home and leading Tampa Bay 16-0 at the half. Jan Stenerud has 3 field goals. The Bears and the Colts today, a 3-3 tie at halftime at Soldier Field, at which point Walter Payton had just 15 yards rushing for the Bears, but he got it in gear in the second half. He rushed for 96 second-half yards, 111 for the day, 9 consecutive weeks over 100 yards, extending his own NFL record. This is his 16-yard touchdown in the third quarter. 17-10, the Bears take their record to 13-1, although the Colts gave them a much better game than was expected. The Patriots beat the Lions today, 23-6. Tony Eason ran for a 16-yard score and threw a touchdown pass to Derek Ramsey. The Lions obviously are an excellent team at home and a woeful team on the road, and the Patriots go to 10-4. The Redskins beat the Eagles 17-12. They trailed at one time 12-3. George Rogers brought them back with a scoring run. Then Jay Schrader hit Gary Clark with a 5-yarder in the fourth quarter for the winning TD. Rogers ran for 150 yards today for the Redskins, still alive in the playoff chase at 8-6. The Dolphins beat the Packers 34-24. Dan Marino threw 5 touchdown passes at Green Bay. He now has 27 for the season. The Jets over Buffalo 27-7. 3 TD passes for Ken O'Brien. 1 was the longest in Jet history. In the second quarter, this 96-yarder to Wesley Walker. The previous Jet mark, 91 yards from Joe Namath to Richard Castor in 1975. So the Jets beat Buffalo for the second time this year. Their record is 10-4, and the logjam continues atop the AFC East. The Jets, the Dolphins, and the Patriots are all 10-4. Next week, Monday night game, a week from tomorrow at the Orange Bowl, the Dolphins play host to the Patriots. The Patriots beat them in Foxborough earlier this year, but as you know, the Dolphins seldom lose at the Orange Bowl. This score is correct. Cincinnati defeated Dallas 50-24. Boomer Esiason threw 3 touchdown passes. The Cardinals beat New Orleans 28-16. Stump Mitchell rushed for 159 yards, and he scored 3 touchdowns. Kansas City walloped Atlanta 38-10. 3 TD passes for Todd Blackledge, but in defeat, Gerald Riggs rushed for 197 yards and a touchdown. Riggs with 1,540 on the year. As of this moment, Marcus Allen has 1,421, so Riggs is the league leader. Back now to the field.
All right, Bob Costas, indeed, Marcus Allen had only a 49-yard advantage over Gerald Riggs starting today, and 197 for the Falcon runner. He's in first place. The Raiders start with a kickoff from their own 20-yard line.
Apparently someone on the sideline unhappy with the officials let them know in no uncertain terms, and a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty flag was thrown. It will be assessed. They'll have to kick the ball way back, and that gives the Broncos great field position. They've had good field position all day. The Raiders, on the other hand, have not had good field position on the day, except on the turnovers that gave them the ball out in the middle of the field.
We talked about the 2 main men, John Elway for the Denver Broncos, Marcus Allen for the Raiders, and we billboarded them at the start. And in the first half, Allen held in check, and that's what the Broncos wanted. That's his total yardage. Elway rushing and passing 111 yards. Neither man outstanding, but Elway's got the 2 touchdowns tucked away.
Elway has been able to take advantage of the opportunities that they have had. The Raiders had 1 chance to score, and you might remember if you were with us. If not, we can tell you that Mark Wilson threw an interception in the end zone to deny them a chance at a touchdown.
Big play was Rich Carlos missing a 35-yard field goal in the final play of the first half that would have given the Broncos a 2-touchdown-plus lead. And now 30 minutes to go.
One thing's sure, you don't try an onside kick from down here on the 20-yard line.
It would be the ultimate surprise, although Barr worked it magnificently against the Broncos in the first game at the Coliseum in L.A. He kicks off from the 20. Daniel Hunter and Vance Johnson are deep. Good driving kick.
Boy, he drilled it out of there.
All the way to the 8-yard line. Hunter. Jerry Robinson, an all-pro, playing on special teams with the Raiders, as he just can't get the job away from the rookie Reggie McKenzie.
And what great special teams play by the Raiders as they lose 15 yards on the penalty and end up giving the ball to the Broncos, and there goes another flag in the air.
There's another unsportsmanlike yellow flag, and Howie Long is the man, or no, it's Matt Millen debating with.
I think they better get out of there. They might get another one.
Fred Wyant, the referee.
I have an unsportsmanlike number 56.
That's against Jeff Barnes, his 56. So at the end of the half, 15 yards for unsportsmanlike, and that's how the second half begins for the Raiders. And they'll kick it over again, this time from their 5-yard line. No, they're going to mark it off there. I was going to say.
They get it to them after the change of possession, so it does move that ball out. And where they were going to start on the 21, they now start just outside of the 35, out on the 37.5, 38-yard line.
I thought we were going to see something I've never seen before, a kickoff from the 5-yard line. So the Broncos in excellent position at the 37. That's right in motion. And Winder, the solo running back. To the 41. Second down and 6. This has not been a good quarter for the Broncos. 39 points all season long, but in the last 2 months they haven't scored at all.
They have not scored a touchdown in the last 8 games. They have had some field goals, but in 6 games they've not scored in the third quarter. So this has been a bad time for them. And of course, the Raiders traditionally strong in the second half, although I think this cold might start to bother both of these teams if it continues.
Second and 7. Elway to Kay, and he's wrapped up at the 40 for a loss. He wanted to go to Vance Johnson over the middle, but good coverage, and he dumped it off to Kay as a safety valve, and Rod Martin right there, number 53 for the Raiders. What a good player he is, and an inspiration for all you young players who are high school, college, not even 200 pounds. That was Martin's story. That's why he wasn't picked until the 12th round in '77. He was only a 200-pound linebacker. A good one.
And even better today.
Triple right, shotgun. Gerald Wilhite, his first appearance of the game, and he's far short of the first down. Bill Packel and Rod Martin with a tackle. Now the Broncos, unable to move the ball, will have to punt it away.
Wilhite, out there with a badly sprained ankle, was able to run with difficulty during the week. Makes his first appearance and very uneventful. Little trickery going on. 3 wide receivers to the near side. They ran them all off and then tried to throw a little screen out here.
Chris Norman, who punted only once in the first half, 55 yards, a ball that rolled into the end zone, so 35 net. Fulton Walker, the former Miami Dolphin, stands at the 22. Oh, how did he miss that one? Jeff Barnes right in on Norman, who got it away to Walker at the 15. He's dangerous. 25-30. 35 and out of bounds at the 37. Fulton Walker. How in the world did Barnes miss blocking it?
Jeff Barnes, I think, afraid that he was going to miss it and rough the kicker. He's in plenty of time, but took the wrong angle. I think if he'd have angled across the kicker's foot, he would have knocked it away.
Speaking of wrong angles, there's our sideline vehicle. One of the very best in the business, Lou Gerard, working on that last Sunday. He had an accident, fractured a bone in his leg, his foot, and we really miss you, Lou, and hope you have a speedy recovery. We never counted on you for extra points anyway, but we miss your artistry.
Broke that ankle in 3 places, I understand.
Marcus Allen out to the 41, a gain of 4.
Dick, maybe we can go back to Fulton Walker with that fine return. He'll move closer to a record. He's only carried the ball back in 8 games as a punt returner, but he's closing in on Greg Pruitt's all-time NFL record of 666 yards. Here's the last part of that play. Hopefully we get the end of it, but well, no, there he is. The better yet, look at the man himself. And what a tremendous record to be able to return for only 8 games. Came 4 games into the season, missed the Miami game, and is still working on that record. Needs an average of 45 yards a game to do it.
Raiders have been so good at picking up that loose man. Marcus Allen not open. Flag is down. Back in the Raider backfield.
Mickey Marvin helping the officials by waving his own flags over there and pointing over to their side.
Hands to the face mask, number 75.
Rulon Jones, second penalty against the defensive end from Utah State, using his hands into the face mask on his defensive charge. Well, a lot of that is done. They don't call it very often.
You see a lot of that, and I agree with that kind of a call because it's very dangerous to start using that face mask as a weapon and jamming the head back. An easy way to get a man injured. They've taken away the head slap from the defensive lineman. They don't want the hands up in the face mask, and that's fair on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
It's a big penalty, 15 yards, and a first down for the Raiders at the Denver 44. Only the second time Los Angeles has been in Bronco territory today. Marcus skittering along the sidelines. He stepped out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Steve Busick, his former teammate with the Trojans of USC, knocked him out of bounds.
You know, you can hold the great backs in check very often for a quarter, a half, as the Broncos have done. But if they keep hammering at you, they sometimes have the ability to come back and make the big plays in the second half.
Marcus Allen with nearly 1,400 yards. The rest of the Raider backs 400. He has more yardage than the top 4 rushers for the Broncos if you take Elway out of that top 4. Frank Hawkins. Not much. It'll be short. Well, he has the first down at the 33-yard line. Needed only a couple, and Ken Woodard, 52, made the tackle.
There's the comparison you alluded to, Dick. The 4 rushing backs for the Broncos, Winder, Sewell, Lang, and Wilhite, with a total of 1,295 yards. Marcus himself with 1,392. And I'll tell you, in his importance to this team and what he has contributed, he's got to be one of the leading candidates for MVP on the season.
A true star is Allen. First down, 33 of Denver. Very important possession for the Raiders should they score here early in the third quarter. Wilson going long for Christensen. And a flag is down. Foley and Smith double coverage and a flag at the 10. That we'll wait to see against the receiver or against the defender. Against Denver. Interference.
2 big penalties here. One for unsportsmanlike conduct, and then a second helped the Raiders to move the ball well down inside Bronco territory.
Contact, number 49, first down.
So it is not interference, but illegal contact before the ball was thrown. So that's a shorter penalty of 5 yards to the 27 instead of down to the 10. We expected to have some penalty yards today.
Certainly did. Big penalties, too. A lot of 15-yarders. That is quite unusual.
Blasting to the 20. Gain of about 6 more, maybe 7. And again, a little extracurricular action. Carl Mecklenburg finally with the stop of Marcus Allen.
Normally rather sedate Reuben Carter, number 68, up nose to nose with number 65, Mickey Marvin. And tempers are short in a game like this that's emotionally charged because of its importance and also because of the ongoing animosity between these two teams. It's bound to happen.
Second and 3. Good protection. Open is Christensen. And it's first and goal for the Raiders at the 8-yard line. Busick Foley and Woodard with a tackle of Christensen, the tight end.
Money receivers. In the crucial situations, you go to people you know can get open, to someone that you know will catch the football. He gets away on the line of scrimmage, does a good job of bumping right there on Mecklenburg, and Mark Wilson got him the football.
Mecklenburg unable to cover him and then unable to bring him down. First and goal. Wilson working into the noisy end of Mile High Stadium. Oh, my. Allen appeared to have a touchdown to the outside, but lost his footing, and down he goes at the 3.
Collier sending a different set of troops onto the field. I'm sure glad that they dodged that opportunity for a touchdown by Marcus. He just tried to cut too tight. I'll tell you, they've done a great job of getting this field and keeping it in shape. They've had a horrible November, and yet this grass is still growing. They've kept it in good shape, but not able to support that hard cut by Marcus Allen.
14-0 Denver. The Raiders trying to get on the board. 8:40 left, third quarter. Wide open is Christensen for the touchdown. And that quiets this Denver crowd as Todd Christensen embraces his 6th touchdown reception of the season.
Mark Wilson, as we mentioned earlier, had an earlier opportunity and threw an end zone interception to end a drive. Well, it ends more happily for the Raiders here. They're able to get Todd Christensen free again, and he pulls down his 6th touchdown of the year.
Chris Barr with a try for point. Wilson to hold. He knuckled it through. 8:31 remaining in the third quarter, and the Raiders are right back in it in Denver.
You solve problems. So when you have an idea, you do something about it. You never stop asking, what if?
You know that electronic mail project for the bank? What if we used HP Message in a currency?
If all you want from a small truck is a bed in the back, then you're not ready for this one. This guy actually handles. And I never thought I'd say that about a truck.
Introducing Mazda's new B2000 SE5. With radial tires, Spoker wheels, sporty stripes and mirrors, rear step bumper, a 5-speed and a double-wall bed, all standard and all at a price close to Toyota's and Nissan's base trucks.
Are you ready for something this special? You should be.
Today's game is brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks. The more you look, the more you like Mazda value. By Stroh's and Stroh Light. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here. And by Hewlett-Packard, the people who turn your business computing problem into a business computing solution.
Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. Welcome back to Mile High Stadium in Denver. The Raiders have closed within 14-7, and Barr's kick sailing deep into the end zone, and Daniel Hunter will not run it out. First down, Broncos at their 20-yard line. John Elway. They'll try to attack that Raider defense. Second best in the entire NFL in their percentage of passes completed. Only the Bears have allowed less than 48% their defense of their opponents' passes to be completed. The Raiders have allowed just a 49% completion against. So on the ground, Sewell, and that doesn't fool the Raiders. No gains. Stacy Turan up from a safety spot, number 30. This has been the jinx quarter for the Denver Broncos. They've seen their lead melt from 14-0 to 14-7, 8 minutes left.
First play of this drive does little to inspire optimism in this crowd.
Vance Johnson way out to the right where Lester Hayes has him. And Elway rolls in that direction and goes long. It's a bad pass, and Hayes will intercept. Mike Haynes has his second interception of the year as the pass wobbled. Watson was deep, and that was a perfect chance for Mike Haynes, his second of the game, third of the year.
Howie Long just about knocked himself out as he hit John Elway. He's still wobbling there. Elway trying to avoid the sack. Will feel the pressure coming from the backside. Howie Long, 75, will be coming into your picture, and Elway throws the ball and literally goes into his third interception of the day by trying to avoid the sack.
There are some special things in this world that only a handful of people can appreciate. Now, maybe you're not one of these people. But if you are, spend some time getting to know Mazda's new RX-7. But I'll warn you, it'll flat spoil you for anything else.
Introducing Mazda's new generation RX-7. Its engine has the smoothest flow of power in the world. No one has a more advanced suspension system, and no one offers all this at this price.
It's pretty special, like you and me.
Introducing the amazing Minolta Maxim, the world's easiest SLR, because it alone has built-in automatic focusing. Look, Maxim's autofocus lets you get perfect shots before others can even focus. Change lenses. Maxim again gets the shots that used to get away.
Only the human eye focuses faster.
Minolta Maxim.
Only from the mind of Minolta.
The game that counts, the pressure mounts, the kickoff's almost here. Now you're talking football. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here.
Stroh's, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
Now you're talking Stroh's. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here.
The 10-year veteran from Arizona State, Mike Haynes, 7 times a Pro Bowler, and he's had a good day today. Only 1 interception coming in and 2 against the Broncos this afternoon. 38 on his career. And it positions the Raiders down 14-7 at the Bronco 46-yard line. Oh, Mecklenburg. No, it isn't Mecklenburg. Simon Fletcher, 73, greeting Allen for a loss. He's one of the top picks, or rookie picks of the Broncos out of the University of Houston.
Dan Reeves mentioned that he had played well last week. They put him in that 4-man alignment, and he said he played so well in his first exposure that we're going to give him a chance to play some more. Well, now you know why.
Single parent. He's raising his 2-year-old daughter, Ashley. I said, what are you learning from her? He said, patience. I said, what are you teaching her? He said, I'm trying to teach her to get potty trained, like any parent with a 2-year-old. Puts everything in perspective. Wilson scrambling. Mecklenburg gets him from behind at the 39. 7 yards for Wilson.
A fine play by Mark Wilson, who recognized there was no place to go. Mecklenburg talking about his unique opportunity. The fact that he gets to move around in that defense and literally has the kind of freedom. And, well, we've seen that with other players and other teams. We used to watch the Stork, Teddy Hendricks, do that for this Raider team. And, of course, he played just the linebacking positions. Mecklenburg will also play all the down line positions.
Broncos answer to Joe Palooka. This has been the trouble spot for Mark Wilson, where Elway's 2 touchdown drives have involved making the 3rd down conversion. And a scramble again. He's got the 1st down and a flag with it. It appeared they got the face mask.
They're going for the head. These officials, I'm sure, conscious of the explosive potential of this rivalry, they're not going to tolerate a lot of messing around on the field.
Robbins, second-year man from Arizona.
Face mask, 15 yards, number 48, first down.
And that's the big penalty, tackling with the mask. Touching the mask, grabbing the mask, a 5-yard penalty. When you use it and jerk the man down with it, as they do right there, he's got the head, yanking it down.
Watch him he makes contact with the right hand. Look at the left hand. He jerks that head around. partially screened by Dennis Smith. 15 yards. First down at the 20 for the Raiders. They trail 14-7. 5:41 left, third quarter. Allen straight ahead to the 15-yard line. 5 more for Allen. Remember when he complained about not getting the ball enough a couple of years ago, and Al Davis says, "You want to run more?" He said, "Yes, I want to run more." Al said, "Why don't you take a couple of laps?" Well, he's getting his chance this year.
Coming into this year, the highest number of carries he had ever in a ball game was 26 for the Raiders. This year, he's had a 31-carry game, a 30-carry game, and a 29-carry game.
And loves it.
And loves it, and is enjoying it. And the great backs love to have those opportunities. They seem to get stronger as the game goes on. That's the way Marcus is playing here today.
2nd and 5. Wide open. Oh, it deflected. Hester was open at the 3, and the man in front was Dennis Smith. He just caught a piece of it. You'll see this ball deflect right out of the grasp of Hester.
Fingertips. Just the barest amount of deflection on that ball, but it's enough. There's no way. If he doesn't get a finger on this ball, it's a sure catch. Just touches it, and the ball goes right to the helmet of Hester and bounces away.
Was that a great play by Dennis Smith? He'd lost his footing going down and still had the presence to reach up and make the play.
He made a great interception with that kind of ball reaction earlier in the game. In fact, it was he that stopped the touchdown drive in the first quarter.
3rd and 5. Allen, who else? First down, touchdown! Just gliding so smoothly into the end zone. And it's 14-13, and talk about a touchdown maker.
The game breakers, no question about it. On a play where the Broncos were thinking pass, Marcus Allen is running.
15 yards and a chance to tie as they'll tee it up for Chris Barr. It's a new game after the interception by Mike Haynes at the Denver 46. Marcus Allen, 15 yards, a touchdown that ties it up.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
The kids really like what we got them for Christmas. Radio Shack Space Patrol walkie-talkies. They're terrific outdoor fun. They have flexible antennas to withstand rugged use. And built-in Morse code keys with the code alphabet on the front, so they can talk or send messages in code. The kids like them, and I love them. Come in, Space Patrol. Time to report for dinner.
Space Patrol walkie-talkies, only at Radio Shack.
McDonald's new McDLT could be the best tasting lettuce and tomato hamburger ever.
Cool, crisp, empty, in perfect harmony. So you taste the hot, you taste the cool, the way it's supposed to be. It's a good time for the great day.
And that was just your first bite.
Of McDonald's.
If you think there's no room for improvement in small trucks today, then go let the dog out, because you wouldn't want to know about Mazda's new Cab Plus. A small truck that's really big inside.
Introducing Mazda's all-new B2000 Cab Plus. One of the roomiest cabs in its class, includes room back here for 2 adults, plus unusual levels of quietness, ride, and handling. It's also the lowest priced extended cab truck by hundreds.
You wouldn't know anybody who would want something this special, would you?
This winter on NBC Sports, all the excitement of college basketball is back. December 21st, John Thompson leads his Georgetown Hoyas north to meet Joey Meyer, now in his second season in the second city, as Georgetown battles DePaul. College basketball, it's the stuff weekends are made of on NBC Sports.
On the left, former Dallas Cowboys star Dan Reeves in his 5th year, already the winningest coach in Bronco history. Tom Flores, 20 years now in the silver and black as a player and a coach, his 7th year as head coach. It's 14 all. Johnson from the goal line. Ooh, is he hammered at the 16-yard line. A vicious hit.
47, Don Bessalou, a new acquisition by this Raider team, and Johnson almost did not get up off the ground.
Marcus Allen. A reprieve, 15 yards, set up beautifully. Allen, following his blocker, saw the opening, and then it was history.
What a nice block by 73 Charlie Hanna to spring him loose.
Now, the game breakers. Elway, who had the lead in the first half. Allen has almost equaled Elway's game total with a brilliant third quarter, and the game even at 14. Elway starts from the Denver 15. Out throwing, and overthrows Steve Watson on the near sidelines. Let's pause briefly for station identification from Denver. This is the NBC Television Network.
TV 24, KSEE, Fresno.
In the East today, the three teams who were at 9-4 have all won. New England, Miami, and the New York Jets. Two teams here in the West, 9-4. Of those five, only 4 can make the playoffs, and the loser today will find himself in a tough spot. Although the Raiders are in a better position than Denver to accept the loss. We'll tell you more about that later. 2nd and 10. Long pursuing, and there'll be a penalty against the man trying to block Howie Long. They did everything but wrestle him down.
Tremendous pressure being generated, in particular in this third quarter, on Elway. And we've mentioned he's tried to get away from the sack by dumping the football during the day. Look at Townsend, 93. 3 Broncos trying to block him. He'll spring free, but there's Howie Long, 75. And you saw the holding right there, someone trying to tackle him. The Atlanta Falcons tried to control him that way last week. There were 5 calls for holding on the man who was trying to block Howie Long last week.
Hold on, I believe they're going to call that against the Raiders.
Number 93, push down.
They said that Townsend was holding the blockers. There's an unusual call.
Not terribly unusual in a sense that when you run a stunt, you'd like to occupy the different people. And he's going in to grab as many bodies as he can get a hold of there. Now, that's a strange call. He's just trying to get away from a hammer lock.
Meanwhile, Long was being tackled by the man endeavoring to block him.
You see holding called against defensive linemen often, but I don't think that was a good call.
To the 4-yard line, 24-yard line goes Sewell, a gain of 4, and more importantly, the Townsend foul carried with it the automatic first down, so that really helped Elway and the Broncos out of a jam. By the way, the Broncos in the third quarter, we told you, hadn't scored a touchdown in 8 games. They certainly haven't today, and they have not made a first down in this third quarter, while the Raiders have racked up 8 and 2 touchdowns to tie the game. Nathan Poole, he's been sitting in a computer office all this past year, hasn't played football for 2 seasons, and with a desperate condition of the running back status here in Denver with the injuries to the likes of, well, most recently Gene Lang, Poole, who played a couple of years in Cincinnati, 2 years in Denver, was signed right out of the office. Said, I'm no Walter Payton, believe me, I'll try to make the adjustments.
An inspiration, I'm sure, to everyone who feels that they can put on a uniform and partake of the activity on the field.
Broncos hungry for just the first down. 4. And he'll get it with that throw to Steve Watson, and look at Lester Hayes. That's not the new funky chicken. He thought he was being pushed. First down, Denver.
Right at the end of the play, Watson, who'd done a great job of reaching down to pick that one up off the ground, and there's Lester saying, hey, he's pushing me. One of the things that the Broncos did on that play was move their wide receivers in close to the line, in closer to the center of the line, to give them more room to work on the outside.
2 minutes and 33 seconds left in the third quarter here in Denver. It's tied at 14. Sammy Winder touchdown at the 35-yard line, and the Raiders have done a good job in defensing the running of Winder. He was the only Pro Bowler in the entire Denver team last year, despite the fact the Broncos won the West and were 13-3. Total yards third quarter. Yeah, that figures with the Raiders getting 14 points and the Broncos none.
Well, and if you credit either what is done or not done by an offensive team to what they are able to adjust to at halftime, the Denver coaches must be using the wrong formula in the locker room during the half.
Steve Sewell sent way out to the right side in this formation. And Turan on the blitz, and so Elway has to dump it. Incomplete. No one blocked Turan, and Elway had no choice. He was going to take a big loss if he didn't dump it off.
Simply overloaded. There was no one to pick Elway up, and Elway knew he had to get rid of the ball. He was complaining because he felt the hit was late.
Now one of the sons in the wide receiver corps for Denver comes in. Sampson. They have two, Johnsons and Watson.
I don't think there's another defensive scheme in football that puts more pressure on a quarterback than the Raiders' defense.
That is an incredibly good percentage on third down. 7 out of 10 for Denver. 3rd and 6. Fake to Johnson. Elway's going to run it. Howie Long chases him out of bounds, shy of the first down. And a flag goes down. Elway trying to stop, and the officials rule that he got some assistance from a Raider.
That's like a hornet's nest over there. Elway just trying to get out of bounds, and you may see another flag thrown in the air over there. Some of the Broncos over to bring Elway out, give him a little escort. I think Elway decided early on that play he was simply going to run. Here's the play. What they're saying is that Rod Martin is taking him down out of bounds. Well, he hit him out of bounds, and Elway obviously was carrying himself out of bounds. But it seems like a bit of a puny effort to throw a 15-yard flag on it.
The conditions, like most accidents, it takes more than one element. In this case, the slippery canvas over there on the Raider sidelines. Had that been a normal situation, Elway would have stopped probably